You're gone?
Yeah.
Nice.
You good?
Looks good.
You can close that.
Yeah, no, let me yank that. But,
You gotta like push it out.
328. We up on the
328.
28th floor.
Oh shit, we're on the 28th
No, not to
floor.
drop your addy on
Yeah,
them out,
yeah,
but
yeah. Not the docks. How the waves looking? The waves looking alright? Just as long as the waves look good. Yeah, nice. Yeah, we on the 28th floor, 328.
Yeah.
28. You just turned 28.
God.
Oh
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
dude.
It's 282828.
And we got
2 plus 8 is 10. Of course, that's a perfect number.
1 plus 0 is 1. It's a God number.
Yeah, exactly. The unity. But wait, so what we were talking about before?
What were we talking about?
So that was just something I've been thinking about recently. Was I'm trying to understand, just like I think my intuitive belief is that art is a positive and generative thing, but I don't know if I can prove that. You know, it seems to me like whatever you're doing, it was this old, like, I was listening to the Joyce biography, and it was something Joyce used to say, was that the artist destroys his family, right? When you have a real artist in a family, it blows up the whole family.
Okay.
And it just seems to me that is the effect, right? When you're going, you're really trying to do something like that and uncover some truths and look at things in an ugly way. That's not good for your inner circle.
Propriety.
Yeah, and it's something, and
manners,
I feel this like
family manners.
I feel this.
It's not good for your inner circle.
Yeah, I feel this in terms with like my family, like, it's just funny the way I'll be texting them about some stuff that would happen. Like, I sell the book or whatever, and it's just kind of like, cool. And then my sister will text them like, look, I made this glass in a glass class. And they'll be like, oh my fucking God, you're like a genius. And it's just like,
in a glass class.
Yeah, in a glass
they
class.
Got glass classes?
Yeah, they do. You can go glass class. But it seems to me like, and I get it, that is a lot more palatable than to have to look at maybe their reflections in a book of mine or something like that and have to deal with, hey, I'm doing this thing, I was living around you guys and soaking up whatever was going on and looking at things truthfully. And now I'm making whatever I'm making, and it's outside of your control. And I feel like that's a difficult thing for the people close to you or close to your stories to accept. Right. And I'm just not sure, like, the point I made, I wrote this on like a Substack note, was just that, it seems ridiculous to opine about the moral quality of an artist when it seems like it's inherently a selfish thing to do, a selfish and bad thing to do, to make some piece of art.
But how are you gonna lead? I thought this. Are you gonna lead us back to why it's good?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why it's good.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to help me with that.
Yeah, because, man, I mean, yeah. You have no evidence.
Well, it's not that I don't have evidence.
Yeah.
There are things that I think the truth is good.
Yeah.
Beauty is good.
Yeah. Truth. Yeah.
And whatever expands your conception of the world and your experience with the world, I think that's good.
Right.
And that seems to be the.
I don't not have a response. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it in the proper way. And also, it's not just it's what expands your view. I saw, we've been doing all these. I saw a great quote from the ribs already. Yeah, I'm about to hit these ribs, dude. But I saw this great quote from about Percival Everett.
Of course.
Yeah, he got a book called James.
Oh yeah.
No, he had a great book he had a great quote from James, which I actually got the same email. Okay. From like Random House, and it was like, you need to write a book about why literacy matters. Or write a quote about why literacy matters. Okay, yeah. And I never fucking, even though I'm so about that, but he was saying that it's about expanding your view of stereotypes. It's also sick. I don't even actually totally get this. I need to read that book. Yeah, James. It's Jim.
Yeah.
It's a character, Jim. I know. And he called himself James.
Sick.
That's sick. That's a sick turn.
Yeah,
I only made this when I read that. I was
and that's,
he prefers to be called James.
That's right away, like
that's
a play
good.
on like you conceiving of the world
exactly.
in language.
And self-invention through language
For sure.
and storytelling.
I mean, that's a great title.
No, I was like, damn, that hit me. I was like, damn, I felt so bad for all our jokes about how well James is selling. But
well, he's laughing on his fucking pile of cash. He's all right.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, okay, there's truth. I mean, I just think. I mean, I guess I have an extreme example of how I've been confronting that question. Yeah. Of like, like as soon as,
well, fucking, and art's always been associated with the demonic, right? Okay. And accessing the demonic, your communion with the demon.
You're inventing something yourself.
Yeah.
That's the demonic act.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's acting like God.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? That's why it is.
Yeah, so that's inherently
the Capricorn impulse. Yeah. That's the devil card. That's you're creating out of the earth. You're creating something into existence. Mm-hmm. But I don't even think
is evil. Like that goes back to the Tower of Babel.
It's against God. It's the sixth day.
Yeah.
It's the sixth day. It's
but
the
also
sixth day of creation. It's the ultimate day of creation before the seventh day of rest.
But it's also like in the
Tower of Babel, exactly.
Right, the Tower of Babel.
Every artwork is a Tower of Babel.
Right? But the purpose of the Tower of Babel was this is from what's his name? This book, I forget. That Juan Benet.
Okay, yeah.
Where he was arguing that the Tower of Babel was a utopian project. That once it was completed, he's trying to build a utopia.
Right.
And that was God didn't want a good society. So that is inherently a generative project, building a utopia. You want to build a good society for everybody.
Right.
And I actually got more to say about that in terms of mating, Norman Rush.
Okay, yeah, you guys. Okay,
but go ahead.
To finish that thread, I guess the context in which I was saying it was, I think that it was just interesting. I don't want to be the artist, the terrible demonic artist in the family that's just
destroying everything
by talking too crazy on the pod right now. But all I'll say is that as I try to write about things that are sensitive, and there's a incentive to keep things contained and oh man, what am I trying to say? I guess what I'm trying to say is that I've written in this way. I've written essays in this way. It's the apocryphal Gospel of Thomas. Like the things that what is it? Do you remember what you say
will set you free, basically.
What you say will set you free. What you hold in will destroy you. Yeah. And I think that there's just I'm trying to tell a story about a difficult thing. Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of forces that want to stop me and make it safe and clean. But I think that corrosive energy, like the more I talk to people, that corrosive energy is a real corrosive energy. Yeah. And people don't want to be in that state. Mm-hmm. It's an outside force that says you have to. Yeah. Like it makes you feel bad. Mm-hmm. It makes you feel. Why would you want to protect the sanctity and the purity of an image? Mm-hmm. It's because you feel this oppressive force of judgment from others. Yeah. But what if the difficult thing to share is about accepting that? Yeah. You're accepting when you're going into those places that are hard to talk about. It's an act of. I don't think it's a I don't think it's a demonic act. It's an act of radical love. Yeah. It's an act of radical love, but it takes separation from any group, because as soon as you get in a group, then there's something to be gained and something to be maintained. That's what it is. If somebody gained and something to be maintained, that's when it's painful. Yeah, is when you're doing, that's when it's maybe for like say with like your family or anyone's family. Mm-hmm. If you're getting like a big gain from profiting off of the difficult things, that's when it's difficult. But if you're doing anything for a gain, it ain't going to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't do anything for a gain. Yeah. That's the line. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes what sometimes happens is when you aren't doing anything for a gain, and you are doing things for truth and for love and this radical acceptance, then it has an authentic aura to it that incidentally results. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
so that's the well, I mean, like Lucifer is a light bringer,
right?
Okay. That's essentially
in the etymology of it.
Yeah, that's what Lucifer means, and I mean, Prometheus, Lucifer, all these people were bringing the light.
Whoa,
right? And
okay,
the new Kanye, the first song of the Kanye, the light bearer's got to lead the way.
Preacher man.
Yeah, exactly.
Preacher man. Who's the first preacher?
Who?
No, who was the first priest?
Who?
Tender of the fire.
Oh, that's right.
The priest. Well, who's the first priest king? The holder of the maintainer of the eternal fire. The light.
Well, there's a reason why those are. There's a reason why those are all tied together, and I mean, it also goes back to. I mean, it goes back to, of course, to Humpty and just like the Adam and Eve story, right? Because this
does it.
This is the central tension since the first story, right? Adam is the status quo, right? Eve is the artist. She wants to. She's trying to invent herself. She's trying to tell the truth about what's going on. She wants the truth. That's what she wants.
She wants to discover something different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She wants this new experience. She wants truth. And that,
Eve is the hero.
Well, that's the question. Like, what is, who is the hero in that story?
Here's the thing.
Or do we need, or is the constant dialectic necessary? Like, who's right? Or do we just need the dialectic?
What you mean? Between Adam and Eve?
Yeah, between Adam and Eve. Is that just strife? Is that just like a central part of just society?
The battle?
Is that is the battle the thing?